Another huge relationship in your life, I presume, Karl Lagerfeld. I'm going to open up a picture just to give you a little bit of a memory jolt.
What an unexpected, short but sweet relationship that was, but mega. So I was introduced to Karl by Amanda Harlech, and it was off the back of, and this is one of those circumstances where I was starting to get into a position where I could actually confidently feel that I wasn't having imposter syndrome, do you know what I mean? It was like, you championed me, and a fella called Julian Broad championed me before I got signed to an agent. And we did the Easy Blow shoot. That's where me and Amanda fell in love a little bit in terms of respect for one another.
She's easy to fall in love with, Amanda.
Yeah.
She's a great girl.
And so, off the back of that job, I remember her saying to me, do you know what, I've got a friend I want to introduce you to that I think you two would get on really well. And I was like, okay, yeah. What, the one the shelves putting up or something. And she was like, it's Karl Lagerfeld. Amanda was like, look, he's going to give me a bit of reference for you. The first thing we did was an editorial, and I was told it'll be at his studio. And his studio is incredible because it's in Paris. It's just one road set back from the Seine, and there's a beautiful reference book shop. And you go through the reference book shop to get into his office. Yeah, so I think I sketched something and sent it via Amanda, and she just sent a thumbs up. And I was like, great. And so I can just, I'll build a version of that then, I suppose, shall I? And she was like, yeah. I thought, well, I've got the thumbs up. Let's see how it goes. So then I start trying to make a few calls to whatever is going to be production on this outfit. Karl had a studio manager, and so I suppose the studio manager said, listen, if I've got to build it in the same day and we're going to shoot it, I'd like to get in really early. Can I get in at 6? And this Frenchman went, no, I'll let you in at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I was like, oh, no. I've got to have time to build some stuff, and I've never worked here before, and I'd really appreciate a bit of leeway. And he went, no, and hung up. So I was like, okay, well, I had the address, and I took good old James Robotham, who was my assistant at the time. So I get the van, turn up at what's a bookshop, and first of all I think, oh fuck, this is a bookshop, this is not a studio. Yeah. I'm in the wrong place. And then, sure enough, the guy who'd hung up on the phone came out, and he was dressed as a guy who I didn't think would be Karl Lagerfeld studio manager. He's head to toe kind of Nike tracksuit, bright blue tracksuit, looking, chavalicious. And I was like, are you who I think you are? He said, yes, come this way. And just next to, you could either go in through the bookshop or there's a double door just next to, and you open the double doors. We're on a one-way street in Paris, immediately blocking the road. There's horns tooting, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a busy day in Paris. But we'd also gone, well, we're here, this is what we'll do. So I said to James, get it all in. His studio is a library, like 30 foot high, the whole front, back, sides is all books with bits you can go up and a ladder that you can climb up. And then in the middle, there's a bit of a cove, quite an all unpractically sized actually, but I was like, and I was like, I'm gonna go bigger than this anyway, but clearly an area where you're supposed to build. So I just start building and doing what we're doing and just getting into it. And Amanda, bless her, came in and she went, oh, this looks great. Oh, Karl's gonna love this. And I was like, okay, well, that's a start, because you know what, 10 minutes ago before you got here, somebody thought it'd be really funny who works at the place, came in and went, oh, you're the set designer, yeah. We had one of those last week. Yeah, Karl came in, the set designer was there, and he didn't like it. It was awful. And I was like, all right. Anyway, so this weird pressure builds up. And then eventually when Karl comes, there's obviously this anticipation. But there's this long corridor he's coming down, and all I can hear is the squeaking of leather. And he is very slowly coming at his own pace. And the suspense is killing me, because I can literally hear like squeak, 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 squeak. And then bless him, before he got there, I just heard him go, oh, the smell, oh, it smells fantastic. And it was all the raw wood that we'd had. It was, and immediately he came around the corner, he said, oh, you must be Andy. He shook my hand, he went, oh, this is just as I imagined it, this is perfect. Oh, lovely. But I love the smell, it takes me back. And he immediately told me a story about his mother, who he refers to his mother all the time over the time we got to know each other. But just, it was lovely, it went just as it should. But he would bring Kendall in. Kendall, put this on, come in, stand there. Yeah, that's good. Andy, what do you think? Do you think she should be there? I'd be like, yeah, she looks great there. And then he'd take a picture, have a look. That's good. Next. and everybody would be like, no, you must take at least one more. And I'd be like, at least one more? Has he never seen how Nick Knight works? We've got a whole studio full of pictures here. And he'd sometimes take 2 or 3, and he'd look at it and go, I'm happy with that, that's absolutely fine. And he'd be like, and his catchphrase would be number next. And that, I mean, get the next outfit. Occasionally, we'd then take an idea from that. He'd like, oh, I really enjoyed what you did with the Japanese paper on this one. I've got for the eyewear campaign. Do you think you could, don't copy it, but could you take the spirit of that and do me something for that? And I'd be like, yeah, it'd be great. So it was a really nice, completely different, completely unexpected relationship. And then it never ceased to amaze me, like, when we weren't doing those jobs and I'm seeing these huge Chanel shows and knowing full well, now I know there is there's a lot of Karl going into that. There's people with their ideas and there's things going, but those huge kind of moments that you think, this all still stems, plus the design of the clothes and everything, this is all stemming from one person. There's a whole ecosystem here from one person, and it was kind of amazing.
Yeah.